Good morning, everyone. It is a quarter to 6 a.m. on January 2nd, first trading day of 2019. Well, welcome to 2019. So far, it looks suspiciously like 2018, but I'll give it a chance. We'll see. So, as always, just a quick reminder, please do like, comment, and subscribe if you are actually here for the live stream. If you're on the YouTube chat, say hello. Let me know you're here. And same thing, if anybody joins the Discord room, please do say hello. I will be hanging out there off and on all day during the trading day. So let's get started. And actually, for anybody who's new to this, sorry, I should introduce myself. I am Jonathan van Clute for Stock Navigators, and going to be doing the morning market analysis today. And let's start out by looking at the S&P 500, as I usually do. And last trading session, we had, kind of a strong down session. A lot of people are theorizing that this is sort of the last of the end of the year portfolio rebalancing, things of that nature. I mean, who knows? You can always come up with reasons to try to justify what you see happen in the markets. But the trick is to just ignore all of the reasons why and trade accordingly to what the price is doing, what the market is showing to you. So right now, we bottomed out down here. And at the moment, anyway, we are looking to see if that bottom is in fact the final bottom here, and if we can turn around and begin an uptrend, or is this move here just a rally in a downtrend? Because we do have lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, and that would mean lower low. So we're in kind of a dangerous area here. There's no question about it. We are in a downtrend. We're even technically in a bear market by the 20% from the highs metric that is typically used. So this is officially a bear market at the moment, and need to be really cautious about being fooled into thinking that big up moves like this suddenly mean that recovery is on hand, and that we're going to be back to a bull market again. This is a high volatility environment, which means the moves up are going to be extremely strong, just as the moves down can be. So watch out for that. This is, at the moment anyway, looking like it's just another rally in the normal pattern of lower lows and lower highs. Of course, we have to take out this low in order to actually establish that. So right now, we're looking to either take out this low and continue lower, or we're looking to take out this high and continue higher. But overhead, we've got a pretty significant sell zone, which is from back, whoops, do it with the pen on. Oh, come on. There we go. Which is from back here. This was when we broke the lows from last February. So that is now an overhead sell zone. It was a significant buy zone. Now, of course, it's a sell zone. So support becomes resistance. Resistance becomes support. We're also below the 21 EMA. So there's no arguing at all about the direction of the trend right now. The trend is definitely down, no doubt at all, on a daily basis. Now, on an intraday basis, on the 60-minute chart, the trend is at the moment up, because we have the absolute low here. And we got the absolute low down here, and then we have a high and a higher low, and now we have a higher high, and at the moment anyway, we have a higher low. Although, what's to say today we don't trade a bit further, maybe test this buy zone down here, something like that, before possibly heading higher, if it is going to do so. But again, don't forget your larger time frame. Right now, the larger time frame, even though on the short term, yes, it's up, but the long term, it's definitely in a downtrend, and this is just a rally in that downtrend. So be cautious about that. But if you're an intraday trader, you're doing day trading, scalping, that sort of thing, there's no shortage of opportunity. There's always stuff moving around. You've got lots of moves to capture. Right now, Navigator is below the 0 line on the 60. So at the moment anyway, bears are in control. I would not be at all surprised to see some continued downside this morning. But again, on an intraday basis, you've got there's plenty of stuff to do. You've got these big moves, up moves and down moves, and all sorts of things. So there's definitely volatility in the market, and that means that there's opportunities to trade in both directions. So just be careful. Know that if you're a short-term trader and you're trading on 30-minute charts, 15-minute charts, something like that, your 60-minute trend right this moment is up. Look for it to take out this low if that's going to change. Otherwise, look for it to take out this high up here if that is going to continue to the upside. And then, of course, we've got to challenge that high up here ultimately. And then further up the ladder, basically from there. If I zoom out a bit, you can see that high, this high, etc., and just all the way up. If a strong bull trend were going to emerge and actually go turn things around and try to start challenging the former highs. But right now, anyway, market is in a downtrend. All right, crude oil is still just continuing its bounce off of the buy zone after this spectacular drop all the way down to just under 42. So right now, it is kind of looking like it wants to move sideways to up and probably test this descending trend line again, which also happens to be right about where the 21 EMA is. So that is what I'll be kind of watching for in crude. There's also an additional buy zone down here. So if this is continuing the pattern of lower lows and lower highs, then I would expect to see a lower low and possibly test this zone down here around 40 or so. Right now, however, we do have a divergent navigator. We've got the navigator is establishing higher lows while the price is establishing lower lows. So that is potentially bullish, but it's not an instant immediate reversal signal or anything like that. It's just telling you that behind the scenes there is some bullish strength forming up. So this could certainly continue to trade down a bit lower and then come down maybe to here before bouncing and having a possibly sharp move to the upside, especially if the navigator gets closer to the zero line. And if it eventually can cross it, then we're likely to see some upwards move like we've seen in the past when that happens. But it doesn't necessarily mean that a strong upwards move is going to be enough to turn this whole market around because, of course, it's got to establish a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. And so far, we have not seen that at all. On an intraday basis, you've got sort of a channel going on. There's this level down here. You've got this sort of triple bottom that has happened. And then there's kind of a channel here, too. It's sort of there. There's also the absolute high there, but definitely price has been just kind of bouncing around in this range at the end of the year. Now, whether at the end of the year actually really matters to crude, I couldn't say. This isn't a market that I personally trade, so just notice the price action. It's worth just noting that we are kind of channeling around, and right now we're at the bottom of the channel. And if that pattern holds anyway, then that would mean it's likely to want to head up and test, somewhere in this area, sort of the upper part of the channel. So no real strong conviction trend or anything on the short term. We do have this ascending trend line here, which was breached and now has been tested as resistance and has held. So I'd be watching very closely for it to possibly take out this low here. And if crude is able to do that, then the next major test would be probably down here around this area. So you've got kind of a big open space here to possibly trade down into. And we could see some downside follow through to that. And that would certainly take us down into this buy zone here. So, this is the 43 level there. Well, 43 is right about here. So very reasonable that we get down into that buy zone. So keep an eye out for that. Moving on to gold. Gold has actually managed, come on, there we go. Gold has actually managed to hop over this resistance line that I had drawn here from this previous high. So right this moment, gold has jumped over it and it is holding right now. It depends on what it wants to do from here on how we're going to trade. Now we've got exhaustion warnings happening. So beware of that on a daily basis. We are signaling that, hey, we may be kind of done here. So it's possible that maybe this doesn't hold and gold trades back below that level. Or at a minimum, maybe it just kind of tests as support for a little while, holds, and then maybe it's able to head higher. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But right now, anyway, it has hopped over that line. And if it can hold above there, then there's the possibility of some follow through to the upside. And then eventually looking to test this sort of 1330 level here. And then, of course, from there, if it's got actually the strength to get up there, then we're talking about going up here to test sort of the 1377, 1376 ish level, somewhere around in there. Actually, hang on, that has been somehow got moved, I think, to the wrong place. That's not really where I meant that to be. I think more like 1390. Although that is sort of a minor high right there, but the major one is up at 1390, 1391. So on an intraday basis, of course, we are still in an uptrend and have hopped over this sell zone here. And let's get to, there we go. Zoom in a little bit. And we are just riding these higher highs and higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, etc. So we're continuing that pattern. 21 EMA is doing a fairly decent job of acting as dynamic support. Kind of every time price comes down to it, maybe pokes just a little bit past it, it shoots back up and is held above it. So buyers definitely want to be acquiring gold around the 21 EMA or so. So Navigator, very, very strong. I mean, look what happens when it's above the zero line. Look what happens when it goes below. It's just nothing. So on a shorter term chart anyway, a lot of strength in here. We're only at about 21 and a half on the Navigator. So we're not even, we're, halfway. We're basically about halfway to overbought. But just keep in mind that on the daily, we are actually at a 30, so a little bit more overbought on the 30. Not extreme yet, but it's getting up there. And then, of course, we're flashing the magenta as well. So just be careful that this move might be a little tired because it's done a pretty significant amount of upside moving here. There's just been a lot of higher highs and higher lows. So it would be reasonable for this to sort of work off some of that pressure, relieve some steam, whatever, and slow down a bit, maybe go sideways, consolidate, something like that before deciding what to do next. There's also, of course, the possibility that if the broader market comes back strong in January, if we have a strong January to the upside, then gold could come down as people migrate out of gold and maybe back into stocks. But we'll have to just wait and see if that actually happens or not, because right now the market is still looking pretty weak. Natural gas has continued to sell off and pretty sharply, really. It gapped down again and has not filled that gap, and it might eventually, but right now anyway, that is looking to continue. But has not taken out this low here, and certainly not this one here. So there is the potential for some support kind of brewing here. Zoom out a little bit. Whoops. So we've got kind of this whole area here is support, and then of course the last line of defense is down here. So for the bulls anyway, they really don't want to see that level get taken out, but it is right now showing a downtrend, lower lows and lower highs, and as long as that continues, then that's as simple as that. The trend is down. The 21 EMA is saying it all right now. We're well below it and continuing to head down. The Navigator on the daily basis is at negative 17 and a half. So it's got plenty of room to go before getting oversold or anything like that. There's no exhaustion warnings or anything like that. Strength actually appears to be increasing. So definitely, I would probably want to look to be trading to the short side. On an intraday basis, however, of course, there's movements to both directions. But right now, we are below a number of sell zones. And then there's that big gap. We're below the 21 EMA. Navigator is red, although, yes, it's trending up. So it's slightly divergent as prices come down and made basically the same low here twice, but with a Navigator making higher lows. So, that's a little something, a little bullish sign, but it's nothing I would get overly excited about by itself. We are still definitely below this 21 EMA, so the trend is still definitely down. And unless we see some serious strength to the upside that can get over this sell zone, over the top of this box, over this sell zone, that kind of thing, fill this gap, there really is no upside strength until we start to see something like that happen. And, that could happen, but there just is a lot of resistance to the upside. Natural gas being so weather oriented, I think if we have a major storm come in or something like that, then that could be the catalyst that kind of pushes natural gas up through some of this resistance. But as of right now, anyway, the trend is definitely down. And last but not least, crypto. Bitcoin is trying to establish a change of trend and head upwards. So far, it's been holding. It had the absolute low down here, and now it has done. Trying to form higher highs and higher lows. It has not, however, taken out this level yet. So technically, we do not yet have a higher high because we have not been able to get over that. So if this is able to march higher and break that level, then we will have a change. We will have the beginnings of higher highs and higher lows. But right now, anyway, it's got a ways to go to do that. There is this buy zone right down below where price currently is. But if price takes out this low down here and breaks down below this level, then we know the downtrend is still intact and is continuing. Now, that all being said, we have also divergent navigator. We had price making lower lows, navigator making higher lows, and now Navigator is almost to the zero line on a daily basis. But it's done that quite a few times. It's trying, keeps trying to get up there and can't quite do it. And even the couple of times it has done it, even here, you can see all that was a rally in the downtrend, and then it was set to continue. So the zero line crossings themselves in a down market are usually just a selling opportunity until we see higher highs and higher lows begin to form. Then the downtrend is still intact. Now, on an intraday basis, lots and lots of volatility in Bitcoin and in all the cryptos. So you've got a lot of big moves in both directions. So let me get rid of that. Right now, this ascending trend line here from whoops, there we go, from back here, pulled well away from it, came back, tested it, held, pulled away again, came back, tested it, kind of failed, but then came right back up above it again and is right now again holding, and even tested it again, held, and is trying to work its way to the upside. So there might be some bullishness happening as long as this ascending trend line continues to hold as support. Right now, Navigator's only at about 25, right around there. So it's not especially overbought. There definitely could be some continued upside to be had. But for this moment, anyway, on intraday, it's got to take out this level here. And then, of course, it's got to take out this high up here as well. So we need to see higher highs and higher lows. And then a higher high, the next higher high has to be above this. We've really got to see that continue. And then, of course, eventually we've got to take out that level to really establish a change of direction. So definitely still a trading market. This is not showing any kind of signs at the moment of being something for your long-term investments at this level, something like that. But definitely a good trading market because there's lots of volatility and lots of moves. All right, well, that is it for me this morning. S&P is not really doing anything yet. It's just kind of a sleepy pre-market, not a lot going on, just sort of sideways. Did sell off a bit overnight, and see, we had a little bit of a sell-off there, but nothing astronomical. We've still got this buy zone down here acting as support. So we'll wait and see which direction things want to shape up. It's not real clear right now what the bias is, but we'll let the open play out, maybe that first half hour to an hour or so, and see if something sets up and see about taking some trades. So hope you have a great trading day, and I will be doing this again on Friday. We are going to go to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule for the time being, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to get ready for my trading day. Again, I'm Jonathan Van Clute with Stock Navigators, saying please like, comment, and subscribe if these videos are interesting to you, helpful, or you'd like to see us do anything else or cover anything else. Do let us know. We really value your feedback, and I will see you again on Friday. Until then, good trading, everybody. Take care.